It is a brand new day, and therefore we have a brand new change at the Miss Universe organization as Emmerich, who serves as the CEO of the Miss Universe organization, has officially resigned. During this video, we're going to be analyzing her full statement as well as what this represents going forward for the organization, the upcoming pageant, the future of it, and I would like to take a look back at some of the changes that have been happening for the past few months and years. So if you guys find some sort of value in this type of content, go ahead and drop a like, a comment, subscribe, share this video, and all of the things that support the creator. All right, everyone, so let's just get right into it. In a very professional way, Emmerich announced on her LinkedIn page that she is stepping down as the CEO of the Miss Universe organization. Here is the official statement. Sharing the news that my last day as CEO of the Miss Universe organization will be March 1st, but I look forward to continuing on in an advisory role for the next few months. This was an incredible experience, and I'm so proud of this team's accomplishments during my tenure. We created new business lines, grew revenue, managed through 2 acquisitions, created a digital first organization, and reshaped the iconic brand for a new era, a program that advocates for a future forged by women. First of all, I'm going to say that I kind of saw this coming. Even if you watch my previous video where I talked about the resignation of Paula Sugar, I did mention that I didn't think that Amy had a lot of time left with the organization, considering all of the changes that we have had in the past few months and years in terms of management. The situation right now of the Miss Universe organization is quite radically different from what it was when Amy joined, which was just in January 2022. So it's only been 2 years that she has been working at Miss Universe. The second thing that I wanted to mention as well is that um, she mentioned that her last day will be March 1st, which is quite a late notice, especially for a role as important as the CEO of an entire organization. It seems like Amy can be easily replaced as she's only giving a little bit less than 3 weeks for her last date on the role. Now, she does mention that she will continue working for the organization, alongside the organization as an advisor for the next few months. So we don't have any information here that says that Amy is continuing her employment with them in the future, just a different role. No, she will just be collaborating for them for the next few months only, according to her statement. I do agree with what she mentioned here. I think that during her time at Miss Universe, she did manage to kind of revamp the entire thing. When she says that created a digital first organization, I do agree. Miss Universe is a lot more present nowadays on social media. They managed through 2 acquisitions, which that was major, going from IMG to JKN and now to JKN in collaboration with Legacy Holdings. And of course, they reshaped the iconic brand of the Miss Universe organization. But yes, to a certain extent, it has been revived, especially in countries such as, Latin American countries, maybe in Asia. In the United States, I don't see that the Miss Universe brand has been revamped a lot or that its recognition has increased. Those are just my opinions. But let's keep going because there's more to the statement. Of course, over the past 2 years, we've seen incredible growth, not only in our numbers, but in the attributes that really matter to women worldwide. We saw our first mom compete and make it to the finals, our first married woman, our first plus size delegate, our first trans woman to make it into the top 20, and already for 2024, women of all ages are competing at national levels. Not only have we left the business in a stronger place, but we've left the program with the kind of goodwill and modern outlook that can transition to the next generation on fans. I agree with this. I know that not everyone is super woke, not everyone is so, um, you know, up to date with these ideas and so inclusive and whatnot. Personally speaking, I must say, in the beginning, when all of these changes were coming, the age changes and whatnot, and everyone can join and whatnot, I was not necessarily convinced about it. I was all for it, but I still had my own reservations because I was wondering how is it going to work? What's the eligibility? Does really anyone can join? But I have to admit, after being at Miss Universe in El Salvador and covering the entire thing for several weeks, getting to know the candidates one on one, quite literally, it was a very empowering environment to see women of different body types, different backgrounds, with different experiences in life, coming all together, being celebrated, and showing that they can be their best version of themselves, regardless of whatever moment they are in their life. For me, that was a beautiful thing. So I do think that this particular second paragraph, where Amy talks about the legacy basically of what she's leaving behind, I do agree with it. It's a beautiful thing and it's very empowering. So I have to give it to her. She also mentions here, I thank Anne and Raul for asking me to partner with new management in the advisory role as we continue to serve over the hundreds of franchise partners, millions of dedicated global fans, and of course, the thousands of exceptional women who are the heartbeat of this organization. So, once again, she went back to reminding people that she will still collaborate in a way with the Miss Universe organization within an advisory role. She does thank Anne and Raul. I don't know if this is strategic because, first of all, um, I don't know why, but nowadays, for any change that there is at Miss Universe, whether it's something that was due to happen or not, everyone will point fingers at Anne and just say, like, oh, it's her fault. She's sending her away or something is happening. And now that Anne and Raul are in charge, maybe this is her way of being like graceful and going out in a way that is not necessarily um shady towards them, or that will turn the fans against them, because the reality is we don't know what's going on. We don't know if Amy simply wants to move on to something else in her life. We don't know if she's ready for the next challenge. We don't know if she just wants to retire. I mean, she's not in an age to retire, but you never know, maybe she wants to retire early. So I think this is her way of kind of like calming down everyone and being like, I'm not being um removed from my position. I'm simply moving on to the next step. And I thank them for, still keeping a friendly link, a friendly tie, and allowing me to be an advisor. Basically, this is what I get from it. I do find it interesting that she included it not only in the last paragraph, but also in the first one. So it's kind of a reminder of everything that is happening at the moment. So let's move on. This is, for me, a symbolic moment because I think that, in the span of like 4 months, we have lost some of the most iconic figures within the Miss Universe organization. I mean, Amy was there, as I said, only for 2 years, so the status of iconic is still questionable, but definitely one of the two of the most important figures in the organization. Paula Shugart served as the president of the Miss Universe organization for decades, and she had been there literally, I mean, since the 90s. And Emmerich, although she only had a 2 year stay at Miss Universe, I think that she managed to make some meaningful change within the organization. So Paula resigned during the final night of Miss Universe in El Salvador, live on stage. And she said that effectively tonight, after tonight's show, I will no longer be the president of the Miss Universe organization. So once again, it's kind of a trend of these people who have like really high placed, important roles suddenly leaving the organization. Of course, we can also give her the benefit of the doubt and say maybe Paula was planning this for a long time and she, left the structure and people trained in place to take over the role. We don't have to assume and jump to conclusions and be like, oh, she just quit on the spot. But it's kind of a trend. Paula Sugar, at least from what we got to see, resigned effectively immediately. And Amy Emmerich is only giving, I mean, we are February 8th as of right now, and she will be resigning officially on March 1st. So that's a little bit less than 3 weeks. So let me know how you guys feel about that. I also want to mention, of course, we all remember the departure of Esther Swan that happened early last year in 2023. I think it was around the month of May. And that was a big shock for the pageant community because at the time, Esther used to serve as the head of talent development, if I'm not mistaken. But everyone saw her almost as the chaperone, the person who is always there to take care of the title holder, who is there to hold her hands if the girl needs something, if she's going through anxiety, if she's stressed out, if she's depressed, if something is going on. Esther is basically the person taking care of the reigning Miss Universe. Because of that, Esther was a person, a figure that was extremely loved and appreciated by pageant fans. And I remember when she decided that she was going to move on, there was a little bit of a controversy around that. People were pointing fingers at Anne and blaming and whatnot. I'm going to say, although I don't know what happened, there seems to be like a backstory that has never been clarified to the fans because Esther posted kind of like some cryptic messages when she resigned. She posted some more when Paula Sugar resigned in El Salvador. So I think that there is definitely a backstory and a reason for all of these important figures deciding to step down at these particular times. And let's not forget, this is not any moment. This is definitely a moment that, like, the organization is going through a transformation, quite literally. This is also, I know that we said this quite often, we mention it all the time, but this is quite literally the end of an era. And we all said that when IMG sold Miss Universe. We all said that when Esther Swan left the organization, when Paula Sugar left the organization, and now when Emmy is leaving the organization. But this is quite literally the end of an era, because there is nobody else, at least within the management of the organization, within the people that are public, that we get to see, that we recognize as pageant fans, that is from a different era other than JKN, or now the new era with JKN and Legacy Holdings. All of the people that were in management, in power positions, basically from IMG or prior, are no longer at Miss Universe. I'm going to say, I want us to give a fair chance to this new era, to this new management. When JKN took over Miss Universe, there were a lot of criticism. And in fairness, the edition that we got of Miss Universe in El Salvador was one of the best ones that we have had in recent years. So I don't see why we shouldn't at least give the benefit of the doubt to the organization and allow them to see what they have to offer in Mexico this upcoming year. I mean, this year in 2024. So go ahead, everyone, and let me know, how do you feel about the departure of Emmerich from the Miss Universe organization? I'm quite curious to see your takes on that, and I will be reading you the comment section down below. Drop a like, follow, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye now.